Welcome to our second video in the Spotlight series. Last time we introduced you to the updated cut data view in the Technology Manager. You can find the video in the description below or by clicking on the eye icon located up here. This time we're exploring the new vendor connectors feature. What exactly that is and how we'll make your daily work with this feature easier, we'll see now. My name is Heinrich Flaum and I welcome you to the new Spotlight video from JANUS Engineering.
So, what exactly is this vendor connector? Essentially, it's a direct connection to your tool manufacturer, enabling you to download the tool data and set it up on the TMGA right away without any delays. What does that look like? How do you get there? I'm going to click here on this burger icon on the left with my mouse now. At the moment, I'm navigating in databases, so all of my tool data is visible here right now. And directly below it, you'll find the vendor connector. When I select it, two tabs appear here, clearly visible and ready for us to work with. One is Tools United and the other one here is Fraisa. So what's this all about? Essentially, it's just the standard website of these manufacturers embedded right here. So I open my browser now and right away we can see that the Fraisa tab in the Technology Manager is essentially the same as the homepage of Fraisa Tool Expert. The only difference is this small red arrow here at the bottom right, which is currently grayed out. What that's all about, we'll get back to that in a moment. So now let's say I want to download a tool from Fraisa, then I go to Tool Choice. Select the appropriate material, click on Forward. Next, the processing method, in my case roughing, and now I look for a suitable tool diameter. I decide on the diameter 20 here. Once I click OK. I can already see that the red arrow is no longer grayed out and is now ready for the next step. That's because the Technology Manager has now successfully identified and located tool data here, which is ready to be downloaded in compliance with the DIN 4000 standards. That means for me, I just need to click on the red arrow. I still have to specify whether it's an indexable end mill or an end mill, in my case an end mill. When I do that, we can immediately see that all the necessary tool data has been pre-filled accordingly by the Technology Manager here. For example, the tool diameter, the cutting edge length, the overall length, and so forth. If I scroll further down now, I can see not only that the parameters have been entered here, but also the so-called connection points, which are defined. Here, the connection machine side. So in this section, the interface to the tool holder has already been fully and clearly specified in compliance with the standard. So, last but not least, I'll now go ahead and give it a name, something like Fraisa end mill, or something along those lines, and a click on Next. I already get the final preview of my tool, a click on Finish, and thus I have already created the Fraisa tool in the Technology Manager. Now I'd like to go ahead and install this specific tool directly into an assembly. So back in databases, a click on the red plus where it says Create New Item. The Technology Manager asks me if it's a turning assembly, a probing assembly, or perhaps a milling drilling assembly. Milling drilling for me. Alright, now we can see that nothing has been selected by me yet. So I'll just go ahead and add my new milling cutter. A click on this little plus sign and I can already narrow it down here in the search by tapping on the diameter 20 or, as we already know, I named it something with end mill, so I'll use that to find it. There we can already see the end mill popping up here. This one right here, I confirm with OK. So we have selected the tool. All that's missing now is the holder. Now I click on the holder icon. When I do that, then I get all my holders currently listed here. In my case, it's 226 pieces, and you can see there are already many holders here. If I now want to search as quickly as possible, then this interface search comes into play, which is very useful. To activate the interface search, I need to activate the so-called component finder, meaning I need to check the box on Activate Component Finder. And already we can see that the list has been very quickly and efficiently narrowed down further. From over 200 original tool holders, we now only have 3 left. And I select this tool holder here, I confirm it by pressing OK. I enter an appropriate retraction length in this field, for example 60 millimeters. A tool number 123 and the description Fraisa end mill. OK, a click on the next button. I receive a warning from the so-called entity check process. What kind of warning do I have here? If I click on Show, I can immediately see what the warning is about, specifically the cool and through check process. So here's the situation. Either the holder or the base tool has cooling water activated, whereas the other component remains inactive. A warning from the technology manager. This isn't an error, it's simply a notification to let me know that I'm currently in the process of doing this. To connect a non-coolant through base tool, for example, with a coolant through tool holder, I click here on Next. I could just ignore this warning for now, as this particular setup is absolutely realistic and functional. I'll now get a final preview of my 3D tool, and I'll go ahead and click on Finish to complete the process. Now is the tool ready for me to use once again, and I can also send it to NX at any given time. I'll go ahead and do that. I'll click on the small arrow next to the Fraisa end mill. Then we can see that the tool already appears in NX right away. There it is. Very good. Now, how does it stand with the other provider we've integrated into our current setup here, specifically Tools United? Let's simply go back into the vendor connector and say here, this time I want to download a Tools United tool. Here's the standard homepage of Tools United that I'm currently seeing, and here I can simply go to parametric search. I want to narrow it down this time to an end mill. This time, however, I don't want to stick with Fraisa as the tool manufacturer, but choose, for example, Walter. I select that here and also the material I want to work with, which in my case is steel. I select that and click on Show Search Results. By the way, up to this point, we're seeing here as well, the red arrow is not active yet, so I can't download anything here yet. But let's quickly sort here by diameters. And I'll say I'd like a 20, just like we did earlier on. For example, this particular one right here that we're looking at. I click on it once. And already we see that the red arrow is active again. I can now download tools here once more. Then I'll do that. A quick additional note. Since Tools United also provides 3D data of the tool, I can go ahead and download my 3D tool here as well. And here I now have the result displayed in front of me. First the parameters of the tool, but also naturally the 3D model of the tool. We could now just as easily name it Walter End Mill. Simply click on Next to proceed. I get the final preview of the tool, a click on Finish. And thus we have successfully assembled the Walter tool. This one can of course also be installed into an assembly here in the Technology Manager. Same steps as before. Start by selecting Milling Drilling Assembly. I'm already searching for my Walter tool here. There he is, confirm with OK. And I say I also want to add the holder here as well. A click on the component finder, we only see the tools that are specifically possible for this tool. Change the deployment length. And we are already ready to work. Walter D20. A click on Next. By the way, since we also have 3D tool data available here, I can go ahead and activate this slider where it says Create Assembly 3D Model in NX. If I activate this here and click on Finish, the Technology Manager starts working in the background to assemble all of our components as 3D parts and provides us with a 3D solid assembly specifically for NX-CAM. That's it again. The tool has been fully constructed and I'm sending this one over to NX as well. So here we have our 3D solid assembly available in NX-CAM. With a quick double click, I can immediately see that all the tool's parameters have been completely entered in this section.
Then, if that doesn't represent a huge relief in work, your tools will in the future be imported into the Technology Manager exactly as the manufacturer specifies. Parameters of the tools, interfaces, all of that won't be a problem for you anymore. And if you're wondering, there are only 2 tabs visible for tool manufacturers in the vendor connector. I can assure you there's no need to worry. We are in close contact with additional manufacturers to also integrate their online catalogs as well too. We will be consistently posting updates on our TMGR page or LinkedIn channel regularly. You'll find both links down below in the video description. Which tool manufacturer are you still missing that we should integrate? Write it down for us in the comment section below, and of course, don't forget to consider subscribing so you don't miss any more of our future videos. Till next time, bye!
Let's make it real. JANUS Engineering.